we're going to look at a bean under a microscope. Because here's the thing, seeds, they definitely look different from each other. We've gathered that. But they do all kind of have three main parts that are the same. All right. So right here, I have got some bean seeds. I can show you. Or maybe I can
go
show
to
you down
your
here.
desk cam. Here you go.
Okay, so you can see here we've got... Hello everyone. So we have got some lovely bean seeds. Now these won't grow into a beanstalk with a giant at the top. Actually, these will grow into runner beans, which are sort of the green long beans that are a bit flat.
I really like beans. I love beans like those. Fried off with garlic if you've got some, amazing.
All right.
Don't like peas.
Okay, well we're not growing peas.
Don't like peas. If my mum's watching, you tried.
How can you not like peas? Okay, so let's look at the three main parts of a seed, and we're going to use a bean for this. But to get an idea, let's look at a quick diagram first so we can understand what these three main bits are. So here we go. Imagine we have cut the bean in half, we've split it open, and you can see in the middle is a food store. That's a little bit like a packed lunch for the seed. It's going to give it all of the energy and the nutrition it needs for when it's going to start growing. And what's going to start growing is that tiny little green plant you can almost see in the seed. We call that the embryo. That's the baby plant.
Let's have a look at it in close-up, Mads.
All right then. Okay, there was the seed coat as well. So actually, I am now going to move our beans over to the microscope. Aha! Here we are.
That was amazing.
There we go. So I've actually cut one of these beans in half. If you want to try this at home, you could do it with a chickpea, which might be slightly easier. But if you do have any beans, just make sure you get a grown-up to help you because it can be quite fiddly. But you can actually see here under the microscope the inside of the seed. That's the food store. That gives the seed energy to grow. It's like it's packed lunch. Then you can see around the outside is the seed's coat. It's like a jacket or a coat of armour that protects the little plant inside.
That's really awesome, by the way.
Thanks.
That's so cool.
And then you've got the little embryo. So that's sort of like that little wiggly thing. That is the baby plant.
Compare it to our diagram and you can see exactly those bits. So there's the diagram, food store in the middle, seed coat around the outside and the embryo. And then you can actually see it there on what type, you said it was a runner bean.
A runner bean, yeah. So that little embryo there will eventually grow into a runner bean plant.
That's cool, right? Amazing. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, so we've seen what's inside a seed, but how do they grow into plants? Now it's time to probably make quite a lot of mess in our spare room.
Let's do some planting, some gardening, some indoor gardening. I'm actually going to be planting some chilli seeds.
Hang on.
Chilies are great plants to grow because they're quite happy in a pot on a windowsill, and we love putting chilies and things like curries.
I love chilies. I've got tomatoes. Mascotka tomatoes.
But these are great tomatoes to use if you don't have much space because you can grow them in a hanging basket and they'll hang over the edge and they'll look really pretty.
Right, so how do we go about planting our tomato or chilli seeds?
So in front of us, we both have sort of two tray-like things with individual little spaces. Now, this is called a propagator, and you can think of it as a nursery school for seeds. Little small spaces where they can start to grow and they won't be too... they won't be too overwhelmed, shall we say. Nursery school.
If you don't have one of those, you could actually use... Hang on a minute, I put my props for later in it. You could actually use one of these. That's just a fruit plastic dish.
Yeah, we have berries in there.
We have berries in this. And what's great is there are actually holes at the bottom already, which kind of already are your drainage holes. Yeah. So you can use one of them instead.
Yeah, so you don't need anything fancy. But we've got our seeds here. And what we're going to do is we're going to just use a pencil right now so we don't make too much mess.
Have a pencil.
And we're going to make little seed holes in our compost.
Okay.
There we go.
Seed holes in my compost.
There we go.
One in each, yeah?
Yeah, that'll do.
Just one in each.
There we go.
Got it. Yeah,
so you've got your little seed holes. And now you're going to take a seed and you're going to drop one in each hole. Now, we actually had some packets of seeds from a couple of weeks ago. My mum bought them for us. But you could always just take chilli seeds from a chilli plant.
Yeah.
Or
tomato seeds from a tomato.
Yeah, be creative.
You have to dry them out.
You know what? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. You're just going to drop a seed in that little hole.
Just like one seed in each one?
Yeah, one seed in each hole.
Boop, in you go.
I can't believe, right, that these are going to turn into chilli plants.
Boop, and these ones tomatoes. It is amazing that one tomato would give you so many seeds, and then that could then turn into so many other tomatoes.
Yeah. Oh no, I've forgotten how many I've done. It's okay, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If you put 2 seeds in a hole, it's fine. Don't worry about that.
Okay, so then what do we do next? Oh, by the way, if they're making their own, can they just put soil in there, or do they need special compost?
Well, you can get compost that is good for seeds. That would be great if you have seed compost. And we've both done that. We've covered them up with a bit of the compost, and now we would give them a good water, but we didn't want to put too much water around the technology here. So we would spray them and make sure they're nice and damp. Now, this is where the growing part happens. So when your seed is in that soil where it's dark and it's moist and damp from the water, the seed coat will start to let that water in, and it sends a message to the embryo, to that little plant, that says, okay, we're cool, this is a nice space, it's time to grow now. So that little embryo, like the one we saw under the microscope, it will start to snack away on that food store. And that food store, its packed lunch, will give it the energy to start growing. Now, as the seed coat lets in more water, eventually it will crack and a foot will pop out at the bottom of the seed.
My name's
Not a Greg foot.
Not me.
Not a Greg foot, but actually a root. And that root will start to grow down and it will hold the seed in the ground. It works a little bit like an anchor, but also roots will help the plant when it eventually becomes a plant to suck up water and nutrients from the ground.
So the darkness and the water tell the seed it's time to start growing, and it eats that food store and it breaks through the seed coat and it puts down those roots and then up it goes as a plant.
Yes, exactly. So you've got the roots that go down and then the shoot will start to grow up, and it will go up, 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 up until it pops its head above the soil into the sunshine.
Amazing.
And now we have a seedling, and when that seedling grows leaves, then the plant will start to use sunshine to make its food instead, and its food store from the seed will all be used up.
And then it gets its food from the soil, or the nutrients in the soil.
Well, so it takes up some nutrients, mostly water from the soil, and it makes its food with the sunlight.
Come on, Greg. Come on.
Yeah, so that's it.
I haven't thought about this sort of stuff for ages.
I know,
It's lovely, isn't
so
it?
exciting.
It's really nice.
I can't believe those are going to become chilli plants.
We just need to keep an eye on our chilli plants and our tomato plants.
So we will put these on a windowsill. You want them to be in a sunny spot. And then what will happen is when we have little seedlings, they'll graduate and they'll move on to big school. So at that point, we'll take those little seedlings and we'll put them into slightly bigger pots like this.
Oh, so what's great, I guess, about these propagators is you can just cut the cardboard around these boxes and just pop that in.
Yes, you don't have to fiddle them out.
One of these, you're going to have to kind of pull out each little seedling.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's why the propagators make it a bit easy. So we'll just drop the seedling in there with a bit more soil. And then when it's outgrown this pot, at that point, we'll put it in a bigger pot on the windowsill and we'll put your tomato plants in a hanging basket.
Oh, you want to do hanging baskets? That's a really fun idea. I love that.
I know, right?